Well, hello there, and this is Auntie and the Bishop, and we are here to do our review of Ready to Love, Season 4, Episode 7 and 8. Bishop, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm ready. I've missed you, Auntie. I've missed you.
I miss you too. So here we
But
go. Hold
I'm
on one
ready.
second, y'all. We'll be right back.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop.
auntie that everybody needs.
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
So Bishop. Oh my God. I got so many threatening DMs and emails saying you better not go live without Bishop.
Are you serious?
Yes, they was not playing.
Wow. Well, I don't want to say thank you for threatening Auntie. That's never good. But thank you for whoever.
Well,
Kind of, sort of thank you.
I already had it in my mind anyway. I was like, we have such great chemistry and people, really look forward to us talking about this together, right?
Yes.
And so I knew that I did not want to do this without you. I truly missed you, and I thank you for all your patience with me today. Okay.
Oh, it's my pleasure. But I want to say this, just sort of off topic. You know what I had to deal with. So thank you for your thoughts and prayers. I definitely appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You would.
And I will say this, things are going well.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Yes, yes.
I'm glad. So, Bishop, season 4, episode 7, The Friend Zone. If you had to, are we rating the date? Because people love that.
Did they really?
Oh my God, they love that.
Okay.
So this is the friend zone because we missed a week.
Yes.
Oh, hi Terica. Hey y'all. Hey. Yeah, thank you, Zoe. I guess we won't rate the date. We'll just talk about the friends, but maybe we'll rate the date on episode 8. The
Okay.
X Factor. I don't know. But I love that. I got so much feedback. I got feedback from a couple who said that they actually sat in their house and they rated the date. So when you did the rate the date, they got the concept of what it was. And then after that, they paused, rated the date, came back, played to see if they had the same rating. They said on every date, they rated it the same way that you did.
Really? I saw your eyes when you said that.
Not on what my ratings was.
we might, Auntie, can try to rate these meetings with the friends. We can see. But I definitely want to talk about them. I need to hear from you. I want to get your feedback on some of these.
I need to hear from you too on some things. Oh my God, Bishop, I can't wait. All right, so how do we want to open this, Bishop? I'm going to let you take the lead.
Let's do that. Let's do it. Let me make sure that you're all buckled in with your seatbelt on and got something to drink if you want that and all. Windows rolled down. Because you look like you're just cooling out today, like you've been strolling on the beach. Yeah, I like that summer look of yours.
Thank you, Bishop. You look handsome yourself.
Thank you. I'm holding up, but let's talk about Auntie. Let's talk about Joel and Vernicia. First of all, Tommy said this is the time to call in the reinforcements. He said, got to call in some reinforcements, introduce the ladies to your closest friend, because this was him telling the men what to do. Men, introduce the ladies to your closest friend. And Joe brought in, two guys, and Joe brought in two guys and a girl.
That he alleged was his brothers.
Yes, brought him into his home, and they were talking about, we think y'all might be the first couple to get married. So Vernicia walks in looking beautiful, I thought, as always. And first thing, I can't remember who it was, but they asked Joel, are you really interested in getting married again? Are you interested in getting married again? And Joel said, yeah, but I've got to check myself. He said, I need to make sure that I check myself because I don't want to run into a brick wall hard. And I made a note of that, and I thought, wow, okay. So Vernicia, at least you're getting that some of his family and friends may be a little concerned about how fast he's moving and all of that. So he said he didn't want it to a brick wall hard. As a woman, had you heard that, what would you have thought?
I'm not interested anymore. Nobody wants to be referred to as a brick wall, or that the relationship that you possibly are going to be in is going to continue to come up against hard time, obstacles. To me, that's what I heard when he said it. But then there, when she said that she was territorial, and she just used the wrong verbiage, I think.
Maybe she did. Maybe
but
she
the
did.
Friends weren't feeling it. That the friends were not feeling the fact that she said that she was territorial, because that screams jealousy, passionate arguments, rage, assumptions, like, territorial, like he's not property, a possession. He's a human being, right? So yeah. I think she just used the wrong word.
Yes.
What do you think? Because the friends were not feeling that, and that kind of stuff, kind of jolted him as well.
Yeah, from a friend's perspective, or just even from the male perspective, period. And I've never been in the position to have to bury a spouse and left with children. But when I heard that, I immediately thought, oh, so there are different kind of zones that may be your children, her children, your things, her things. And I thought, oh, that's not a good word to use. That is just not a good word to use. Like, it's going to be me and mine, or either you and yours. And I thought, oh, okay, that's not such a good, that wasn't a good meeting. It was a good meeting.
I don't think that he is really into, from what I got from him and his friends, I didn't feel like he protected her in the conversation with his friends. And I think that if you're dating someone, whether or not it works out or not, I think that there still should be some protection there. And it was like he defaulted, fell back, and was like, this is too challenging for me. He just really wimped out. And I was really disappointed in the way that he handled that. Now, okay, I know that there's editing and stuff like that, but yes. I really thought that he gave up on her like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't respect him, Bishop. I kind of fell back on Joel a little bit.
We see eye to eye. We see eye to eye on that. I was thinking maybe something background happened that we just didn't know about, because there was not a lot of energy.
Yes, Bishop, like it shifted so quick. And then I thought that the things that his friends said were, I just was based on his energy.
Yes.
And I thought that they treated her very unfairly.
Yeah. Just low energy and almost cold.
Bishop, something had to happen that we did not see and we were not privy to.
We need to fly to Texas.
I
let's
didn't
just
like it, Bishop. I didn't like how they treated her at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking if you're going to introduce your woman to your friends, then you sort of lay the ground rules almost in terms of this is how you all treat her. Because in my space, she's going to be protected. In my space, she's going to be made to feel like she's okay. In my space, she's going to know she's not threatened.
Bishop,
And
that's what I'm saying. Okay, we're on the same exact page, Bishop. I
yeah,
felt like he was so unprotected.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
threw her to the wolves.
yeah, yeah.
I was so disappointed. But if I had to rate that meet the friends date, I would rate that a D.
Okay, I'm right there with you. A D, a definite D, a definite D.
It was a D. It was a D all the way around.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
It really was.
yeah.
Okay, so the next. Okay.
All right, okay. So we see eye to eye on these.
Yes, we do. That was a D for the
Yeah,
friend.
yeah. Let's talk about your boy KG, Chris, and Amber. And she hadn't told anybody about him.
And I thought that was perfect.
She hadn't told anybody about
Okay, so
him.
Bishop, what did you? Okay, so first of all,
Go ahead.
he was excited about seeing her, and it was an excitement that did not look manufactured or made up, right?
Right.
Then when she came in, the friends was like, oh, and so I don't know whether or not she was a step up or whatever. He did try to give them some information, but I thought that he was wrong in telling them that she was a DA because she asked him to keep that information private. So he, don't know what to say out of his mouth, and he needs to make sure that he honors what she has asked him to do. So it gave his friends a different perception, and they handled her differently based on knowing she was a district attorney. And I think that that's why she didn't share with anybody. Although I criticized her when she did it at first, now I understand why. You know what I mean? And I thought that she was extremely honest with the friends.
Yes, yes. And the friends seemed to have liked her.
Yeah.
They said she was cool, calm, and collected.
But again, he didn't protect her because because she said when they asked her the question, has she told anybody? And she was like, no, I want to wait. Instead of him saying, I've done the same thing, he said it to production.
Yeah.
And I was like, why wouldn't he protect her and say, well, there's nothing wrong with her, don't misjudge her, based on that, you know what I'm saying? What did you think, Bishop?
Yeah, people offer you information little by little because they want to see how you're going to handle it. Because when I start disclosing my heart and everything that's on my resume and in my life, if I do it little by little, it's because I'm being cautious. And I think she wanted him to be as cautious as well. She wanted to know that she can trust him with her information and how he handled her. And so I think, I wouldn't rate him too high because of that. I wouldn't rate him too high because you've got to, how you handle people's information and stuff that's important to them, whether it's important to you or not. If you recognize that it's important to them, then you have to handle it like they want you to handle it. Yeah. And, she has not been one of my favorite people, but I totally respect, but I totally respected her and I sided with her for how he mishandled that. Yeah. I have a heart.
Okay, so Bishop, how would you rate that friend?
Okay, so believe it or not, I would rate that one a B.
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah. I thought he came out with a positive outcome, and I thought that for the most part they handled her well. She handled the questions well, right? Yes. I would have given it a B.
Yeah. And you know what I have to realize, Auntie? I realize that we have to be open to changing our opinions about people. even me, and thank you for having me on this platform, but even me, in terms of seeing people, Bishop, you've got to be open to see people as they evolve, as they grow, or as you spend more time with them. And so this is me spending a little more time with Amber, not young enough to be my daughter. So I'm just really watching the show, but it's giving people a chance to evolve and grow, and you seeing that people are dynamic. They really are. Yeah. And you give people an opportunity to let who they are come out, because nobody shows their full hand at one point.
Yes.
Yeah. So I gave that meeting a B, really because of her.
You better work, Bishop.
Yeah, big because of her. And they didn't lie. She was cool, calm, and collected.
She was
Cool, calm, and collected.
She was. Okay, next couple.
Next couple. Now, Jason with Liz and Kyra. I'm shaking my head. And I'm looking at your face. Auntie, let's talk about with Liz first. Or Kyra, whichever one. You tell me. I think what got me was how they gave their opinion about Liz. About Liz. They said Liz was stiff.
And then the girl said that I think that
I'm a little resistant to this, because you know some of my background, especially my spiritual background. So I had a few issues with this.
Do you want me to open up the door and you just jump on in, or
please do?
You want me to open the window?
Either.
Which one? Which one, Bishop? Open a door or a window?
If you open the door, I'll step in slowly. If you open the window, I'm just gonna jump right out, or either throw something or somebody out. Go ahead.
They judged her. First of all, she's leading with her Christianity, and I think that when you're dating someone, once you establish that I'm a Christian and all of that, you don't have to keep reiterating that. Now, having said that,
yes,
he wants to be sure that he knows that she's a Christian, right?
Yes.
I think, like when the couple, I think it was the girl that said, I felt the Christianity, the Holy Ghost, the Spirit of God, and all of that coming off of her. I think that Liz is leading with that. And I think that it puts her in a position to be judged based on her religion, and how, because they attributed her religion to her being stiff.
Yes.
And to tell the truth, Bishop, she do come off like that. It's too much. So here's the thing.
Okay, all right, here we go.
I know you, Bishop.
Yes.
Right? I know what you do. But you don't make me feel churchy or twist out.
Okay.
You don't lead with that. The first of all, your statue alone, right? The way you stand, very poised, and that's the first thing you see. Okay, because you're a very tall man. The second thing is the kindness, right? You're very kind.
Thank you.
Very, very courteous, respectful, insightful. I know that energy comes from somewhere.
Yes.
But you don't have to say, daughter, I got some oil right here in my back pocket. Let me bring out my oil and
not licking with the tongue.
Bishop, you don't lead with any of that, but you know that that comes from somewhere. And it's not, it doesn't come off as you are oozing with religion.
Yeah.
It comes off as you had a background where you learned very early how to respect women and how to respect people. And then it comes off as, oh, he's really educated. I'm just saying from my perspective,
Well,
watching you.
yeah.
But when Liz came into that room and she had on them church clothes and them big bows and all of that kind of stuff, this giving First Lady tease. It's giving First Lady tease. It's giving the tease that I'm just walking around with this anointing oil in my brassicas, in my bra. And at any given time, stop it. When Kyra gave what she wanted out of a man, well, I want my man to spiritually lead me. What the? Ham sandwich? Go ahead, Bishop. Too churchy, Bishop. It's too churchy.
I get it. I get that. And I definitely agree. At some point, I was wondering, I asked myself, I wonder if the production team just keeps telling her to push this. Because if they are, it's
Push
not a
this
good
narrative,
push.
Bishop.
Say that again.
You think that the production team is telling her to continue and push this narrative?
Not necessarily to push the narrative, but if they're telling her to, I just don't know. I agreed, and as much as I like Liz, I thought Liz did come across as being stiff because to talk about the first thing, he broke down the book of Daniel. Okay, so somebody else. I don't want to get in church with in trouble with any of my church folk and your church folk. But okay, so somebody might get up there and break down the three little pigs. So what? Oh, and Pumi, thank you. From South Africa. Wow, very nice. But the fact that he just broke down the book of Daniel and you're just sharing that, so what? So what? If you just want to talk about, hey, you know what? I think that we have some spiritual compatibility, and I think that's wonderful.
That was a read. You do know that, right? That was a read.
Breaking down the three little pigs.
That was a read, Bishop. I ain't gonna let you go. I'm not gonna let you go and not let you know that was a read. Okay, go ahead.
but spirituality is just one facet of who you are. One facet of who you are. Every piece of me is just a part of who I am. When you see me, whether you see my height, my skin color, all of that is just a part of who I am. That doesn't have to be the end all be all of every conversation all the time. I don't have to lead with one facet of who I am all the time.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And you do a great job of just being a man, right? And she should do a great job of just being a woman. All this religion and coming in with the religion, like I don't know what that's about. But what did you think about Kyra?
Did somebody ask her if she were an alpha or if she were an alpha female? Did that conversation come up? Was this the alpha female conversation? Well, okay. Kyra, she wants to be. Kyra was the one who said in 5 years she didn't play any games. She said, "I want to be married." It gave them the understanding that okay, she's not playing games. She really is looking for love. She's just not up here playing games. So I thought she handled herself well. I thought they liked her. Yeah, I thought they liked her. In that setting, I left with Kyra's the winner. In that meeting. Let
me ask you something. So the girlfriend started talking about Jason and saying how great of a guy that he was. Why did he get emotional? Why did that mofo cry? Bishop, please, I need it from a male's perspective. Was that just drama or trauma? I'm taking my glasses off.
When he teared up, broke down, and cried.
Bishop, you ought to read right.
I pressed pause. I pressed the pause and I thought, what's going on here? Is it the fact that no one has ever said anything nice about you?
Bishop, oh my God, go ahead, go.
Has anyone not said anything nice about you or good about you? What is going on? And trust me when I say this, I'm not opposed to men crying, but
me either.
I thought, what is happening here? What is going on? Jason, get yourself together. Don't do this on camera. I wish I had his phone number. I would have said, don't do that. Don't.
I just was like, this is the first time anybody's ever complimented you or told you what a great guy you are, or has ever affirmed you or given you accolades. I just was like, what the foolishness is going on here that he would break down? Maybe, he never heard it from the girl before, but to cry, Bishop, was that a stretch? And that's what I didn't know. Was it drama or trauma?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now what you say, that was a read. Was it trauma or trauma? That was a read. Yeah.
Where did he come from? I can't understand that. I said, is he just really not a good guy? Has he not had good relationships or interactions with women in the past? And so this woman saying this, I just was like, it would have immediately been a red flag for me.
Yeah.
It would have, Bishop, because I'm sure you've heard accolades about how wonderful of a man you are. You ain't sitting your ass out here crying. I wish you would.
No, ma'am.
But you're used to hearing that because of your servitude, because of the way that you handle people, right? So people are going to tell you at some point how much you've blessed their life, how much you've influenced their life. You know what I mean? Why is this the first time this man is ever hearing this? Red freaking flag, Bishop.
Yeah. And I would think that in a coaching situation, parents must have thanked him many times before. That's the first. I'm thinking in my mind, parents must have thanked you before. Thank you for doing a good job on how you handle them. So I'm just not sure. Or maybe it was all about drama. It was about drama in terms of
it was let me cry because
because traumatized drama. Either one of them, because now I'm tossed between Kyra and Liz, and so I need to do something. So just in case they hear about this, they know that I'm just, as we say in the country, betwixt and between. How would you rate this? I was ready to give that a decent rating, but
you want my rating? Okay, so we'll go every other. You gave yours first the last time. I'll give mine.
I have my hand in a certain way, and I'm going to bring it up as soon as you give your rating.
I will rate that a C minus, almost a D.
C.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Only because I thought that Liz did not present herself the best way. She didn't. And the friends didn't handle her the best way.
Yeah.
That's based on what she presented. I did not think that they were as hard on Kyra as they were on Liz.
That's true. But you know what, Auntie? I think the lesson in that is you have to learn how to guard yourself before you expect others to guard you. I say that with respect to Liz, because when you put yourself out there, to be judged. Whether it's fair or not, you put yourself on a platform to be judged. And if you don't know how to handle yourself and how to handle your information, you can't expect anybody else to do it. You can't walk out on a stage, on a platform, and say, I'm here, but don't judge me. You don't get to make that call. Sorry, Liz. It may be unfair, but you don't get to make that call. Even when it's about your religion. You keep taking those glasses on and off. What is going on?
Bishop, you reading.
But Auntie, is it true?
It is, but you set me straight with that. Like
Oh,
straight.
you know that wasn't about you. That was about Liz.
No, but you got me straight though. Like you just set me straight. When you go back and listen to this, you set a sister straight.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I love
Uh-oh. Let's go to AJ and Kyra. I'm afraid I'm getting myself in trouble.
AJ and Kyra.
Yeah, at the volley bar.
She made a friend.
They were at the volley
Oh,
bar.
this trifling ass. She sure did. Let me see if did I bring a picture down on him? I don't even know if I brought a picture down on him. He leaves such a sour taste in my mouth. Let me see if I got a picture of AJ
Okay.
somewhere on here. Nope, I sure didn't. So let's just go ahead on and choose Kyra. Okay, go ahead now. Tell me about this date. I don't even remember. I can't stand him, Bishop. I'm so sick of AJ. I wish he would take his broke ass and sit down some damn weird. Just self eliminate. God damn. I don't even remember the date. But anyway, go ahead. I can't stand this mofo, Bishop. Why the hell is he on here? How did he last this long? How did he get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. What the hell, Bishop? I just, God. Go ahead, Bishop.
So,
Oh my
so
God.
tell me how you truly feel about AJ,
I
Auntie.
like him, Bishop. I'm telling you, it's just something about him. He is so broke. He just has nothing to contribute to this game.
I guess Kyra sort of felt the same way because she asked his friend, so do y'all think he's really ready to love?
And
And
they lied. They looked to the left, Bishop. They lied.
because the guy said, oh, no doubt. Now he answered too quickly, and the girl said, stable enough. You know, his career is stable enough. She said, do you all think he's ready to love? And she said, I think he's stable enough, you know, because his career is now stable. What?
How old is he?
I forget how old
Let
he.
me see how old this mother is.
How old is
Because why
AJ?
is he just being stable?
Yeah. Is he 38?
I can't stand him, Bishop.
But
Let me
they started asking Kyra questions like, tell me about yourself. How do you feel about him having female friends? What's the last book you read? What's the last book you read?
Who gives a? The one I'm writing. The one I'm writing. Bishop, I can't stand him. The more I look at him, the more I just cannot stand him. I don't know why he's here. Why is he here? Why do they keep him? Because of his looks? See, people who are nice looking can get away with a lot more than people who are ugly.
that is funny to me. Oh my God.
Bishop, people who are, what do they call it? Aesthetically pleasing get away with a lot more than people who are not. His ass should have been gone. But because he's tall, dark, handsome, and got a mean beard game, he has stayed around. He has contributed nothing. He took her out on a free date. This bitch ain't got no money. He took her down to the community center in the hood to play volleyball. And then wanted his friends to be, he didn't even have money because you know that. All right, go ahead, Bishop.
And they had the nerve to tell him, we think she has her guards up.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, did you tell them about your history, about your past? Maybe there's a reason for her having her guards up. Come on. Don't let. I am
weak as fuck on this show.
But don't let people talk about her and act like you don't have any culpability in that.
Absolutely.
So they're going to tell you it looks like she has her guards up when you know that you are the cause of that, you played into that, you have some reason for that. Don't just let people out there and act like you have no culpability and why she has that response to you. Come on.
Cheap bastard.
That's like people throwing rocks and hiding their hands. I can't stand that. So then when people talk about your friends, you're gonna let them talk about your friends. You can say, "Oh no, I don't know why she's like that. I don't have any reason to do that." Come on, man, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, just then, Auntie, I would have wanted you to open the window so I could have pushed him out. Don't let people do that. Yeah, AJ, get off the show.
Ron, okay, how would we have rated that date with the friends?
A D.
A D.
A D.
A D.
D because he was dumb.
A disastrous.
Destruction.
Disaster.
I like the face. Do it again, Auntie.
Bishop,
Yeah.
Chrysanthemum, Alexis the Fly, and Ron. What the entire fuck?
And then there was silence. Because that piece, that episode, that clip, they could have just deleted.
Waste our time.
Just deleted
They
that.
wasted our time, and they keep wasting our time with these BS. First of all, Alexis, bitch, let me just say this, okay? Auntie love a good wig. Bitch, I love a good wig. But that wazy oodle or noodle wig you wearing with all that grease smothered and slathered and looking like you got butter, Crisco, lard, and some smoke up on that wig, the wig is crying out, it's time to retire me. Then you will sit there and talk about Chrysanthemum and check what the fuck Chrysanthemum had on. When bitch, half the time you look like you got caught in a fish's net. You's a throwaway at best with your outfit. Last week you was looking like Goldilocks. You had ruffles on with cowboy boots. Then you look like you was at the ball. You look like you were auditioning to be Ariella under the sea, bitch, again. With your dress coming all the way down, damn near to the crack of your ass. You got the nerve to talk about somebody that's in a club for a party and they happen to have something. Fix your wig, retire that mother, because it's time for it to go. Then you won't have to lather, slather, and you're looking greasy than a mother every time. Step your makeup game up where your face is not looking oily, okay? You got the nerve to talk about Chrysanthemum. You insecure mother, and then you gonna tell us some this competition. What's the competition? All you want is the man. Why are you competing? Focus on what you're supposed to focus on. Now you know I'm not gonna be nice, Bishop, because it's not Sunday. But
Right.
I'm trying to respect you though. But I'm telling you, I'm so sick of that bitch. I don't know what to do. Because all she's doing is playing the game. It's so obvious that that's what she's doing. And you don't have to compete with another woman. Just be secure. And then you go tell myself, I'm secure. No, I don't think so. Chrysanthemum going to dig her own grave. And then you sitting up there, you know, like you Mother Teresa, you know, you some nun leading everybody to Christ. This ain't lead me to Jesus show. This is dating. And she knows how to say the right thing because she was a pastor's wife. So she knows what to say. She knows exaltation. She knows how to affirm people. So she, you know, she's a practice idiot, in my opinion. The fuck? Convince your wig to look a little livelier. How about you do that? How about you step your wig game up? Said the woman with a wrap around her head.
But you can say it, Auntie, and she better not say anything to you.
I'm sick of her. Let me find that fucking wig. Let me put that bitch on display.
Well, why don't you talk about how you really feel today?
You're not 12. You got bamboo earrings in. Do you see those bamboo earrings?
I never see her earrings because I always see her hair slicked down.
Go ahead, Bishop. What did you think about today?
Not much to say, but I tell you this: I thought this was another dumb date.
I did too.
Chrysanthemum didn't appreciate it either. She said, well, "I don't like people asking me all the questions." They said,
But
"Do you like this? Do you
you
like
knew
this?"
that's what it was about, though, or either Ron didn't communicate it correctly. If the friends are there to ask you questions, answer them up questions, Chrysanthemum. That's all you got to do.
Right?
But
Can you cook? Do you want children? Just answer the question.
do you think that Ron did not communicate what the date was about, or that the producers didn't tell her?
I'm going to say, I think maybe a little bit of both, and I'll tell you why a little later. I think a little bit of both. I don't trust that Ron necessarily told her, "Hey, I want you to meet my friends." I don't think so. But she, even if he had told her, I don't think she was necessarily the sharpest knife in the drawer. I don't think her elevator goes all the way to the top floor. Now, she talked about spending time in Italy. She should have learned how to communicate either in English or Italian, Auntie. One of them, she should have learned how to communicate. Come on. They said, "Do you want children?" She said, "No, mm-mm." And I thought, wow. Selfish? She said, "I'm selfish." She said,
Mhm.
"I'm selfish." I wonder what your other nephews are thinking, Auntie. Most brothers would have turned and ran the other way. They would have turned and run the other way. I'm selfish. Because if a brother has a mother and sisters and might have children, but the first thing out of your mouth is, "I'm selfish."
And here's the thing: somebody said right here, she did an interview and said she didn't know about their friends until she got there. You make the adjustment. If Bishop and I dating, Bishop has some family and friends in town. He's excited about the potential of he and I being in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Hey, look, let's go out to dinner." His family is about to get on the road to go back to Texas. He doesn't have enough time to text me, or even I don't see the text message. I get there.
Mm-hmm.
There's Bishop, and he asks his family or some friends or whatever.
Yeah.
I make the adjustment.
Yeah.
I'm not rude.
Right.
I don't sit there and say, "What do I want kids?"
Right.
I don't want to answer these questions or one answer questions. She has one or two words and she'll answer a question with those.
Yeah.
Make the adjustment. She never made the adjustment, but to me, Alexis Fly overly did it.
One overcompensated, one undercompensated.
Because she wanted to be the chosen one.
And what did she say? "Don't forget who's your number one." Didn't you tell him that?
She always saying that. But here's the thing. So Chrysanthemum, we had made some predictions. Chrysanthemum had to go and talk with, it was Ron. No.
With Ron. No. With Chris.
With Chris. And who was the other one?
The other one was Liz met with Ron.
Liz met with Ron. And Liz was taken aback by the things that the friends said about her.
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
And that's when you really saw the church thing come off. She didn't have her church mother hat on. Chris met with Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum came through the door with an attitude because she knew. He asked her, he said, "You smell good." He hugged her. He tried to make light talk. "You smell good. What do you have on?" "I ain't going to tell you. Nothing." None of your
She wasn't having it. She wasn't having it.
She wanted to get it over with. She wanted to get it over with.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think about that, Bishop?
F. I wasn't impressed with Chrysanthemum. I wasn't impressed with Alexis. I wasn't impressed with Ron. F.
Complete F. So you know what? We're going to go on to the next one. We're going over to Ready to Love, season 4, episode 8, the Mother X Factor.
But how about this though? Remember our predictions? At the top of both of our lists, Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, and so not only was she at the top of our list. Oh, come on, Auntie. You know I didn't forget. I barely had room to write her name because it was so long. But again, you know, we don't throw people away. But people don't make all situations. They don't meet all situations. And so it's try, and try again. Go back. Chrysanthemum. Recycle bin.
Absolutely. File 13 is really where she could have really went. Now the X Factor, Bishop. I could not wait to talk to you. Like I seriously wanted to call you that night. I know you got a lot going on, Bishop. I thought that this was the most eye-opening episode ever. This, in my opinion, removed any doubt that I had about some of these people. Let's start with how I open up. The girls met over at Tommy's house with his wifeicus. He came down there in his cheerful way. He indicated to the young ladies that most of the stuff that he gets for the show comes from his wife, that she is the source of his strength, the source of what he does. The girls are sitting around and everything, and they know that the prior week that they met these men friends.
Yeah.
They're expecting to meet the friends.
Yeah.
But Tommy throws a monkey wrench up in the plans and tells them that they need to meet an ex. Bishop, what did you think about that? Let's.
Auntie. And I was away, but I wanted to call you. And I immediately wanted to know, especially what your nephews thought of this show and this particular episode. When Tommy threw that monkey wrench in, I immediately gave the show an F.
What, Bishop?
Because Tommy called it the X Factor, I said it is the F Factor. It is foolish. It is failure. It is folly. It's foul. Tommy, come on. You want the brothers to meet the ex? I wonder what Auntie. In my mind, I started thinking it didn't work out for you. And so you want me to sit and meet with you and you tell me how to handle her? If you can tell me how to handle her so well, why is it not working out for you?
Why my ex? And the thing about it, I'm going to tell you who it really worked to their disadvantage was Kyra's bitter ass boyfriend.
Yeah.
That was a bitter mother right there. That was a bitter mother right there.
Oh, yeah.
let's get started. Who was day one, Bishop?
The
So
first one
you
was
gave it an F. So did it ever recover?
no, ma'am. No, no, absolutely not. Now, did I think it was revealing? Yes, I thought it was revealing, but I thought that was foul. I thought it was foul to
I
ask the
did
brother.
too because I did too because you know how men are about men. You know, one of the men even said, "Take the energy down in the room." Dude said, "I don't know how to be weak." Oh, Bishop, we got to get there.
Yes.
And but
Okay.
you didn't do that with the. Why didn't you do that with the women?
Ye-
I thought it was unfair. However, however, it got what you needed out of
Yeah.
these mofos. It
Yeah.
because these men came with a different perspective. I've been with this woman. Now, the chooser was on them, right? The chooser was on them. They had to choose the right acts. Okay.
Yes, they did. Yes. Yes. Yes.
But I thought that it brought out some things, and we'll talk about that. All right, first day. Who was the first day?
The first one, what we saw Vernicia and Joel, but then I think they focused on Alexis and Ron. I think the first one they focused on Alexis and Ron because Alexis, bless her heart, she would. I don't know if the pastor would consent to come up on the show.
Okay.
She skipped the pastor, went back to before the pastor, the
She
guy
went
that she
back to when
dated
she was in
before the
high
pastor.
school. The bitch went back to when she was in high school. Come on now,
Yeah.
girl. We don't want to see your high school boyfriend. We want to see your ex-husband. Where's he at? Oh,
You know
let me tell
everybody
you
wanted to see
who
the
it all
pastor.
is, honey. Somebody gonna find that mofo. So Alexa, you can put him in hiding. You can do whatever you want to do, honey. But eventually, somebody gonna find that mofo, and we're gonna get all the tea on your ass.
Yeah, yeah.
But Bishop, did he get? Okay, go ahead, Bishop. Oof, I'm trying to let
Go
you.
ahead, because I'm telling you this.
Bishop. Okay, so go ahead.
No, in that conversation, Alexis found out everything she necessarily didn't want to know, but needed to know. She didn't want to. Ron, they wanted to know, are you a religious man? And he said, I'm not going to do all this praying. I'm not. I'm not super religious. I'm not going to do all this praying. I'm going to.
Bishop, what is masculine, divine masculinity? Bishop, please, please, Bishop. I looked it up, but Bishop, please tell me what divine masculinity is.
You know, I wrote that foolishness down
What
because
is?
he goes on to tell her, "Oh, you haven't seen divine masculinity." She said, "Oh, I haven't seen divine masculinity." So what? Ronald, you sound like a fool. Now you sound like a fool.
Bishop, what is it?
Either I don't understand divine masculinity because either you're
First of all,
human
divine masculinity, the
is an
concept
oxymoron.
and it came from a woman.
Didn't know that.
It's based on some woman's book.
Really?
I'm getting ready to pull it up. I swear to God.
I have to read it because when I see those two words, it's almost like an oxymoron. Either you're human or you're divine. You're masculine or you're divine. Come
And
on.
what energy got to do with it?
And what does energy have to do
What
with
the
it?
is energy with divine? That's supernatural, right?
Yeah, yeah. Ronald just sounded like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he just sounded like a fool. But Alexis found out what she needed to know. Alexis, you keep praying. He's not going to pray with you.
But Bishop, she has been ignoring this man when she asked him before about religion or whether or not he said he was a superhero or something like that. Do you remember that, Bishop?
Can't quite remember that one.
When she asked him before when they were playing golf, it says divine balance with masculinity aligns with femininity. Our greatest potential as humans is to meet in the incorporation and balance of our internal divine masculine and feminine energies. Equally inherent to both men and women, our behaviors, thought patterns, and tendencies dictate the balance of the complementing energies. So it says masculine qualities: logic, reason, action, firm, survival, loyal, adventurous, rational, and strength. Feminine qualities are intuition, nurturing, healing, gentle, expressive, wise, patient, emotional, and flexible. Divine masculine energy represents a spiritual, psychological, and architectural individual of masculine energy. It is the highest, most inspiring, and truest expression of masculinity that is manifested through thoughts, actions, and beliefs. What the? I still don't know what it meant.
Well, let me just say this, and you, Auntie, you can call this a read or not. I heard when you say it is the highest form, and Ronald is not on the highest anything.
Of nothing.
He's
Of
not on the highest
nothing.
plane, the highest plateau, the
Of
highest mountain, the
nothing.
highest altitude.
Of nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not if
Nothing.
not even if he stood on a pebble and looked down on an ant. He's just not. He's he's in my opinion controlling, manipulative, um, has some narcissistic tendencies. Because when Liz, I know I'm skipping ahead, but when Liz said, "I want to, got something to bring to the table," he said, "What can you do for me? What can you?" But anyway, I'm skipping ahead. But Bishop, even when he told the guy, "Are you spiritual? Are you religious?" Because it's just oozing out of you, it's just coming out of you.
And then say, well, I'm not going to become super religious. I
I mean,
thought,
while she praying, I'm gonna be out there doing. Now I understood that from a very barbaric,
did
but
you say
bit
barbaric? Did you say from a very
very
barbaric?
barbaric, in my opinion.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I understood what he was trying to say. I'm not going to be praying about things that I know I have the control or it's within my control to fix. I think that that's what he meant. Just thinking about stuff. I'm right. Do you think that that's what he meant,
I don't
Bishop?
think that's what he meant. I
Okay,
don't think that's what he
what do you
meant.
mean, Bishop?
Because at the same point, I thought, okay, at least we both can pray. But baby, you keep praying. Now I'm going to pray with you at first, but you keep praying. And then to the extent that I can fix, I can help, I can get done, I'll do that. I understood him to say, I'm not even going to pray in the first place.
Yes. Now I did hear him saying that, but I thought, okay, I was just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he was very disrespectful to her guest. He was very condescending
Very.
to the both of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he it showed his insecurity. Now, here's the rumor on the street. The rumor on the street is that he was trying to self-eliminate, but that Alexis would not allow him to self-eliminate.
Oh, really? Oh. Well, let's see if that plays out. Let's see how that plays out, and and let's hope it does. But
Bishop,
the
I
guy,
thought he was just an asshole.
you get no argument from me.
And the thing about it was, he indicated in a interview on Instagram that his top three were Amber, Chrysanthemum. Bishop, your face look like mine. Give me that face again. Let me see that face. Look at that face.
That's no,
When he said
Auntie.
Amber, I
Look,
said, Amber who?
we're gonna be telling our age, but that's okay. This face is like, what you talking about, Willis?
That's exactly
Right.
Bishop, Amber, Chrysanthemum, and Alexis. Then he indicated in this thing that he hopes she gets the spinoff show that she wants, Alexis.
Okay.
He said that he was dating these women off the cuff. He said he got in trouble for dating them off the cuff as well. God dang, that hurt. He said he got in trouble for dating them off the cuff because they were only supposed to date um under the lights of the camera.
Oh, wow.
But he said that he decided that he wanted to date all three of those women off the cuff. But I thought that the way he handled himself, he seemed a bit intimidating. To me, all these men seem intimidated by the exes. And I thought it was good because, excuse me, in a way, I understand what you're saying, the shadiness of it all. But I thought it brought out exactly what needed to be brought out with some of these men. Bishop, who's next?
Liz and Clarence,
First of all,
her
why
ex.
the fuck is Clarence an ex? God, I done fainted, Bishop. Oh my God, Bishop, that man was fine as hell.
Wait a minute. So let me just tell you, women are from Venus and men are from Mars. When you said that, I was going to agree with you from a completely different perspective. When you said, why is he an ex? I was thinking, exactly, why was he ever a part of her past in the first place?
Bishop, you didn't like Clarence.
So I was getting ready to agree with you from a completely different perspective.
Oh, I know the nieces and nephews supposed to eat this conversation up. Why, Bishop?
Because
You right. No,
one, I thought he was too dominating.
no,
I thought he was very caustic. I thought he was very short. I thought he was very curt. I thought he was inconsiderate. I thought he was territorial. The list would go on. I thought nothing about how compatible they might have been in the past. All I saw was the clash of the titans, the clash of the testosterone, the clash of, and I said to myself, this is why she's not with you. And as we said in the country, can't nobody tell you nothing. You don't listen. You bullheaded. And I thought, okay, so when you said, why is he a part of her past? I was going to say, that's right, Auntie, I'm with you. She should have never been talking to him in the first place, but you approached it from a different perspective.
So you thought that? So did you think that David was a victim?
No. I didn't know. I did not think David was a victim. But I thought Clarence was nasty because I think what happened in my mind, I think Liz, in disclosure, she wanted to tell Clarence about what had happened and how she felt betrayed about what David did. You know, I told him about the kiss with Jason and so she told what had happened. And she said that his friends asked her about that. It was off camera, but they asked her about it, and she didn't feel like David, one, he should have told her, and then he didn't make her safe. He didn't make her feel safe. So Liz kind of tainted Clarence in terms of how he would approach David. I think so. She was honest. She told him what he needed to, but Clarence was not. Clarence needed to be sedated.
Oh, Bishop, no! Bishop.
Yes, Clarence was out the gate. Clarence had the nerve. Clarence was a bit cocky. And it came across like, so Clarence, if you're so protective of her, now that was the one that made me think, so if you're so protective of her now, why didn't it work out with you? I get it. So now you guys are friends, but so you're going to tell me how to handle this when you couldn't handle it in the first place? He was the one, I would have walked out of the room because it would have been one of those, you know what, Liz, baby, listen, we'll talk later. It's good to see you. But this energy right here, I don't have time for this. He's your ex. You didn't say he's your father. You didn't say he's your brother. You didn't say he's your uncle. So I don't have to stay here and talk to him. Goodbye. I know they think Bishop has lost his mind today, but no, no. Do you feel like you're a safe place for her? Were you a safe place?
But it wasn't about him though, Bishop.
Yeah, maybe.
It wasn't about Clarence. And Liz indicated that Clarence saw her, or she saw him as a brother. I have brothers. I don't see them treating him any different. I I'm sure that there was more she shared with him, right?
Yes.
But first of all, when he came into the room, right? Okay, you got
Mm-hmm.
these two warriors, as you called them. When he came into the room, he was David was uptight when he first walked in the room and saw the man. He's already exhibited um that he's a jealous man.
Okay.
When he came into the room, Bishop, you didn't see his body change when he was like, oh, like even the handshake, right? So when he went and sat down and he found out that he was an ex, he made that little smart ass comment that this is going to be, interesting, or this is going to be, what a flip or whatever. Unnecessary. Just be cool. Just be cool. So of course, Clarence, in my opinion, as a woman, from a woman's perspective, is gonna be like, what you talk about, man. So I think that production set these up maybe so that it would be a clash, right? We don't know what conversations happened before. We don't, right? We don't know any of that. And so as a brother, if my sister told me I was unprotected, as an uncle, your nieces tell you they were unprotected. I told him something in private. And when I met his friends off camera, this mofo, because this is not the first thing he's done off camera, right?
That's
He
true.
does his off camera because Stacy talked about what he did with her off camera, Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he a slick mother. So he did something. He did that with her off camera and said, "Oh, you went on another date with Jason. Did you kiss him on that one too?" So you the type of mofo that like to put people on blast. But then you sit up here in front of Clarence, her brother, right? She's an ex. He's an ex. But she reveres him as her brother. And as a brother, right? You
Yes.
hear this mofo say, I want her to be a safe place. What is your next thing when your niece has sat there and told you, Bishop, that he hurt her, he threw her under the bus in front of his friends. She doesn't feel like she's safe with him. Bishop, how you gonna act? How you gonna act in the mofo sit across the table? You're not gonna approach that. Do we need to sedate your ass?
Ye-
The perspective was different.
Yeah.
And he was like, and to him and to you, Bishop, if a man was sitting across the table dating your niece or dating my daughter, or my brother sitting across and he's dating me, and this mofo, I want a safe place with, I want her to be a safe place. Okay, so she just sat here and told me that when she told you something that you went out and told, do you believe that you a safe place? He goes on and he says, well, this is for Liz. Bitch, you ain't gonna dismiss me at this table. He totally dismissed Clarence. Clarence, Liz didn't ask him the question. Clarence asked him the question. So now you're gonna put it on the woman. And so this man is sitting across the table watching you try to intimidate the woman. Then after he says that, Bishop, right? He goes on to make it her fault. Well, you got to tell me. Bitch, I don't know I told you. So now you're making it my fault that you said that to your friends. Because now what you're saying is I got to quantify every conversation I have with you. I have to sit here now every time I have a conversation say, don't tell nobody. This is private. This is confidential. You should know not to throw this woman under the bus. You don't. I need you to answer. And then I put you on this level. Bitch, who are you to put me on a level? What are you talking about? Don't try to give me compliments. You know, the way I see you, the level I put you on. Fuck your level.
I mean, that auntie is upset about this thing.
I want to be respected as a woman. I don't want to go around your friends, because if you're going to do that, what else you going to share? And then, like Liz said, it's obvious that when I came to you and had a conversation with you that I did not have to have, and I came to you out of respect for you and your ego as a man, to sit around other men and have them tell you for the first time that I kissed you. I'm trying to protect you, and you use it as a weapon against me. You weaponized what I told you. So you tell me, Bishop, how you would handle that if that was your niece.
You're right. You get no argument from me, but auntie, the one piece that's different is that Clarence was an ex. And it shouldn't make, from a female perspective, it probably shouldn't make any difference. But as soon as you tell me that he is an ex, it's competition.
Okay, you saying from a male's perspective?
Yes, because
why is it competition and he's an ex?
Because you may say to me, so this is my if you said this is my brother, my uncle, my father who's here, that's one thing. But when you say this is my ex who's here to give you insight about how to handle me, it just throws in a completely different.
Well, that's Tommy and them folk. They just was being obedient. But wait a minute, though, Bishop. You knew he had a problem, because before he could even answer a question, he was like, "When was the last time y'all was intimate or kissed?" What the does that have to do with anything?
But that
don't ask that.
But and maybe they didn't, but that truly revealed the male ego. It revealed what's in the male's mind. It honestly did. Whether it's fair or not, it was revealing and telling and honest in terms of what the male ego thinks. It really was. Oh, so this is your ex? Oh, okay, all right. And then the ex comes and says to me, "So how good is your communication?" How good is your communication?
No, he asked him what was important.
No, yeah. He said, "How important is communication to you?"
Yeah.
Yes. But you don't. Why you ask me about communication? It's that whole X factor. If it were just a brother, an uncle, a nephew, or that, that would have worked. But you threw in that new dynamic.
Bishop.
You threw in that dynamic, and you threw in that dynamic with, as he said, an alpha male.
But why would he? So that's why he told him bring the energy down. And he said, "How am I bring the energy down? I can't be weak. I'm an alpha male."
Yeah.
So you saying Clarence was wrong?
No,
you
I
think
don't.
Clarence provoked this?
I don't think Clarence. I don't think Clarence helped. I don't think Clarence helped the situation. I don't think David helped the situation either. At that point, when cooler heads could emerge, somebody has to be able to bring the energy down. If you want to communicate, if you're going to ask me how important is communication to you, how important is it for you to communicate with me right now, Clarence?
But Bishop, he tried to talk to Clarence, and Clarence dismissed him. I mean, David dismissed him. What are you talking about, Bishop? I'm missing it. I swear, I'm trying to.
Bishop. I said it is the battle of the testosterone. It was clear to me.
So then Liz can't have him around nobody.
Or maybe she can't have Clarence around anybody.
Or another ex. Or anybody she played on the playground with. Anybody she jumped hopscotch with. Because he's a jealous mother that doesn't know how to be around other people. There may be someone else who was significant. He may be mad about a pastor next. No, Bishop. No, he
But
got a problem.
but now David was the precipitating cause of this because he betrayed her. I'm
And he
I'm not
dismissed Clarence.
I'm not
You didn't think he dismissed Clarence when Clarence asked him a direct question and he said, "This is for Liz." That's a dismissal. You know daggone well, Bishop, you sitting up at a table and somebody dismiss you, you gonna check that mofo.
yeah. But
I want to hear your answer, Bishop. How would you have handled being dismissed when your niece asked you to be there?
but my niece but I'm not my niece's ex-boyfriend. I'm just recognizing, I'm just acknowledging a reality. The reality is that for a lot of men, even if they eventually get over it, to meet an ex, there's something competitive that's going to take place in the male ego, and you may have to process it quickly and get through it. We just saw David not processing it well. Now again, David shouldn't have betrayed Liz. That he shouldn't have done. Yes, David could have been willing and should have been willing to have the conversation. David just was not able to process meeting the ex. And I said to myself, though, David, you're old enough to. David, I'm sure this is not the first time you've met an ex. I got to be honest, I did say that. This is not the first time you've met an ex. You're not processing this well. You're not doing a good job. But then I thought, Clarence, you're not doing a good job either. They both. I was so unimpressed with both of them in that moment. I felt for Liz, but I was unimpressed with David and Clarence. I was not impressed with Clarence at all. Just so unimpressed. Clarence, if you really want to get to the core of how I handle Liz, if you're really concerned about how I handle your sister, temper your communication in a way that might make me responsive, brother. I am really careful when I talk to my nieces, boyfriends, fiancés, my sisters at the time, fiance. I was really careful to make sure that when I spoke to them, I'm 6'4". I have a brother-in-law who's 6'5", but I'm many years older. And I made sure, and I mean within the teens of years older, I made sure that as an older brother, that when I approached this 6'5" guy, that I approached him not from the perspective of, this is my sister, you have to listen to everything that I have to say. And I'm the dominant one in this conversation right now with positional power. I don't do that. I was very careful to make sure my first approach to him was a way that would create a relationship with us and a way that would open door for communication. Because at some point, he's going to be the lead in my sister's life. And I needed to make sure that everything that I thought was important, that he would be able to hear it. And I couldn't go in as the alpha male, the older brother, and just dominate the conversation. I had to make sure that I created a platform for him to hear me. And I don't think Clarence was concerned about that. I don't think he was concerned about creating a platform. And unfortunately, my experience has been that among brothers, a lot of times that is our downfall. That is our flaw. We don't care about how a brother might potentially receive us. All I know is what I want to say, what I want to get across, and be done. I don't think about how the brother is going to receive it. That is a downfall. That is the flaw of ours. I have to be concerned about my delivery to you as my brother. Clarence just didn't do a good job. David didn't either. Neither of them did a good job. I was unimpressed with both of them.
So, Bishop, if your niece came to you and said something like that, how would you have handled that? How would you have addressed it?
I would have wanted to make sure that he understood this is not to be done again. If she decides to give you a second chance, you can't do this again. The decision is hers. I need you to acknowledge that you were wrong. I need you to make her feel safe. I need you to understand that she now feels vulnerable and there is some cord of trust that has been broken or at a minimum frayed. Trust takes a long time to build and just a second to break. So, young man, the job, the work is on you to rebuild, to regain, if she allows it. I'm here to just facilitate your hearing that. I'm also here to facilitate the fact that if you hurt her again, as you know, as an uncle, as a big brother, that if you hurt again, you don't deal with her only. You do deal with me. That's just the way it is. But I make sure I'm heard, because if I don't do my job to make sure I'm heard, then I leave frustrated and pissed off because I didn't communicate well. Communication is real big to me, and I have to make sure I can't hold you accountable for what I say if I don't say it in such a way that you can receive it. I'm going to make my point with the Clarences in the world, but I'm going to be conscious about making sure that I'm heard. See, now here you are thinking poor Clarence is so fine until you want to know why he was an ex, and I was looking at a different perspective. Yeah, they exhibited poor communication, just poor communication, piss poor communication. David, and no, I'm not saying David was a victim, because David didn't do anything to help. David was the root cause of it all. So I'm not saying he walks out with a, get out of jail free card, because he doesn't. He should have been left in jail. Clarence should probably have just reconsidered, how do I get my point across? I want to make sure. Clarence should just say, wow, maybe if I had to revisit that, how could I have gotten my point across that I'm concerned about her? Even though this brother is not focused and his energy level is off, how could I have done a better job? Yeah. What sayest thou?
Wow, like total opposite of how I feel. I guess, in my opinion, I looked at it as her being a damsel in distress, going to her brother. Wow. Thank you for educating me.
No, I didn't educate you. I just
No,
shared.
yes, you did.
Oh.
No, you did. You did. Thank you. Um,
Oh Lord. Yeah, it's just that X piece. It's that X piece adds another dynamic. But
okay, so how did you think that Joe handled Vernicia's acts? Give me your perspective on that day.
remind me, Joe with
Joe was the one that said that he didn't. She met him, and he asked him, was she
Clingy.
clingy? Since that seems to be a place of contention for him, I thought that the way that he handled, knowing that there was the axe, was great. Um, For the most part, it looked like he was very open.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
To the conversation. But he brought up what happened with the friends and asked, is she clingy? Right?
Yes.
And he said no. But did you see Vernicia face? Because Vernicia was like looking like, why would you even ask that question?
Right. Right.
So based on the conversation between him and his friends, he interpreted territorial as clingy.
Yes.
Or has she been clingy in the house or wherever they've been? Then she talked about communication,
Yes.
how she was sitting there waiting to go out on a date with
3 hours.
He said he was going to text her and let her know when he was done. And he never texted her and assumed that she was supposed to know that he was not going to show up. And he says, well, I guess I could have looked at my cell phone. You know how many times people look at their cell phones a day? You saw that. You knew you was doing it. It was purposeful. What do you think about that whole thing from a male's perspective?
I my Joel's points went down very far down for me
Yeah, for me too.
because
Excuse
I
me.
remember on the previous episode when the brothers got together and they were saying in this moment, if you had to walk home, if you had to go home with somebody, who'd you go home with? And several of them kept calling Kyra's name, and Joel called Kyra's name.
Well, Bishop, you know, but we didn't talk about that in the last episode. Why did all the men all of a sudden choose Kyra? Because they think she's easier.
Now I discover, because what happened, it seems to me Joel was teed off with Vernicia about something, and wondering if she's clingy and all this kind of stuff. When I got to this episode, I said, "Oh, so Joel, you were just reactive. You were reactive based on the fact that you didn't communicate with the sister, and she's upset. And so now, if you have to go home with somebody, you could." Joel's points went down for me, because now this is my mind putting this puzzle together, and I still maybe putting a block in a square peg or something around. Because now I'm thinking, so that's why you would have gone home with Kyra in that moment, because you were upset because you didn't communicate with her, left her waiting for 3 hours. She's upset, and now you want to call her clingy. Maybe I missed the picture, but in my mind, I thought, and then you're going to dismiss her and you would go home with Kyra in that moment just because you're upset. Joel, your points, my brother, just really went down for me. Now, if I put the puzzle together wrong, then forgive me. But if I put that puzzle together correctly, your fan points just really plummeted with me. Because you don't get to miscommunicate with her and hold and make her the villain. And it said 3 hours.
But that's why I'm wondering how you. Okay.
Because that was just Joel and Vernicia. There was no ex involved in that. That was completely his miscommunication, his being wrong. Yeah.
And so you're saying,
If an ex would have walked in to tell him that he was wrong, the ex would have in the ex. Uh-oh. Auntie, you gotta come back.
I dropped myself off the stream.
I was saying, Auntie, you gotta come back. And I was just looking lost.
I think I'm blown by what you said earlier. I can't make a connection to it. Um, are you implying that so Joel and everybody else had to deal with the same incident or the same thing, right? They needed to be with an ex. So are you implying that the other men didn't have the same energy? And in order for X's and O's to communicate with each other, that somebody has to take down?
or somebody has to just be aware when there is no communication, or when there is a barrier to communication. Yeah, just you just need to be aware when either we're not communicating or when there is a barrier to communication. And it does not mean that the one who's attempting to communicate is always wrong. It means that everybody has to be aware. So if I'm saying something and I'm not getting the response that I think I should get, it might not be the recipient. It might be me. I might need to think about how I'm saying, and can I say it a different way? So when David says, and again, this is not holding David up either, because I can deal with David as well. David. I just want to say, David, you're too old for this. You should know better. You're just wrong. You mishandled her, and you should know better. You were wrong for that. So one, you feel bad because you were checked. Yeah, you deserve to be checked. I'm gonna give you all of that. You deserve to be checked. You were wrong. At that point, I thought, because you're not fond of Liz, at that point, I'm thinking, Liz should just kick you to the curb and just walk and be with somebody else. She shouldn't even give you the time of day, because this is a short amount of time when she's trying to get to know people. And so in this moment, in this hour, you don't deserve her. So I can talk about David. I just want to really talk about Clarence for that moment. But David, you don't deserve Liz. But for Clarence to try to tell him that, Clarence, if you want to be heard, as the communicator, as the one trying to communicate in that moment, check yourself to see if you are being heard. And if you're not being heard, is there something different that you can do? Auntie, have you ever heard people who in heated situations or just in intense moments, they repeat themselves, and they may repeat themselves louder. So they're saying the same thing, and they're going to get the same results or the same response. It might work for them to be able to circle back and say, how can I say this differently? And how can I say it differently means a couple of things. I choose different words. I choose different tone. I choose different setting.
But the energy was already up in the room, though. So in order to get the energy down, somebody got to leave. If the other male doesn't take down, just like in the wild kingdom, in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to take the low road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason.
And Kyra.
I thought the boyfriend, this boyfriend I thought was out of line. I thought he came off very jealous and bitter and mean. Now, Kyra, one of the things the boyfriend did talk about was the finances. But Jason is so fickle that every time he fears that something is wrong with somebody, he's ready to switch off players. And people are flawed. And they're not going to have it all together. What she spends on her money and all of that kind of stuff. First of all, the boyfriend didn't have a right to say it, but Jason did ask him, so he said it. But that ain't your money. That's her money.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm totally with you on that one. I'm totally with you on that.
I got bitter vibes.
Yes, I did.
But here's the thing, though, Bishop. That means that the boyfriends that they were dating, according to Kyra, I think it was, she hadn't dated in like 7 years, right? Her and Liz.
Uh-huh.
And so what the hell do they know? It's 7 years later.
Unless they've been in touch and communication with them consistently. And as in Liz's case, if Clarence is like a brother, then he very well may have been in touch with her over the years. But in Kyra's case with that other guy, I just don't know.
Oh, this was
Because
so. Go ahead.
he started. Remember, he just came out like an interview, didn't he?
I changed my mind with Amber. Amber, did you have any notes that you wanted to talk about any of those, Bishop, before we move on?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I changed my mind about Amber because when I met Amber's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, and Chris came in, first of all, I think they got good juju together. Like, I think that they are really hitting it off with each other. I don't think that this is just for the cameras, or at least I hope it's not.
Yeah.
I think that they really care about one another. I think they probably doing some things off screen, but I mean, it is what it is. But when her boyfriend indicated that he during the relationship he had to tell her that he was interested in men, and she did not flee and run off and leave him to handle that on his own,
Mm-hmm.
but they have still been able to be friends. I put my bra strap to her for that, because the average woman would not have been able to do that. And I had mad respect for her. And Chris was sitting there like there's something going on,
Yeah.
something going on between them. And so there was an elephant in the room, and they just addressed the elephant. Loved that interaction. What did you think?
And Chris was so relieved because at first Chris was thinking, wow, I thought Chris may have been thinking, wow, so something is still going on with them. They're really close. Their energy is really, really close to something going on. So when the boyfriend shared that information, Chris just sort of breathed a sigh of relief, like, whoo, okay, I can handle this. Okay, I'm good with this. Yeah.
I think their interaction it just gets better and better with time.
Yes, yes.
Like, I really do. I think they have great chemistry together.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I have to admit, Auntie, I'm impressed with Amber's progression, and I'm glad I'm able to make the shift. Yeah.
Absolutely. Who was next?
Well, we saw your favorite folk. So Alexis and AJ were together, and they invited Liz and Jason to come along. And remember, Alexis was pouring out her heart, just, pouring her heart out about, what she wanted, what she expected, and how she was scared of AJ. She said she was scared of him because she thinks he's going to break her heart. And so she was saying all of this, that she hadn't been kissed, and then he grabbed her and kissed her.
She told her everything she wanted, so all he did was just, color the. I mean, he followed. Here's the thing, Bishop. Have you ever done a color by number?
Yes.
They give you the numbers. You ain't got to make them up.
I love you for that. I love you for that.
Bishop, she gave him the numbers, and all he did was colored it. He just followed the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he's such trash, in my opinion, because he's not interested in Alexis. He ain't interested in Alexis. And the thing about it was the kiss was a silencer. I just want to silence you, shut you down, shut your mouth.
And he said that. He said that.
Bishop,
he has no redeeming qualities in my perspective.
None.
No redeeming qualities.
I can't stand him. And I think that he just brings nothing to the table.
And again, here's perspective. So each time I hear you say, "Oh, he thinks he's going to stay because he's the tall, dark, and handsome," I keep having issues with that last adjective, handsome. But that's not my perspective. But because I keep thinking, why does she keep saying he's tall, dark, and handsome? I get the tall, dark, and the brother has a nice beard, but the handsome part and where he really plays on that, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I would have to agree. He's not as handsome, but when you see the ugliness inside of a person, or the ugliness that you think is inside of a person, it really makes the outside shell a piece of.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
He does.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing about it, though, Bishop. Let me put it in very simple terms. It ain't nothing like a M&M outside, cracked and outside of the shell or melted.
Say that again. Say that again.
There is nothing like an M&M
Yes.
that's cracked and outside of the shell and melted. You don't want it. You discard it. But when you open up that little pack of M&Ms, that brown pack, even the ones with the peanuts in it, and that peanut is perfectly intact, it is delicious. Mwah. But when that mofo get to melting in your hand, or you pick up your bag and something that sat in it and it cracked, I don't know about you, but it's no longer appetizing to me. I don't want it anymore unless it's intact. And that's how I see him, as a melted M&M. I would discard. He's discardable to me now, because they have cracked the shell. It ain't nothing in it but melted chocolate. Nobody wants melted chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Bishop?
I do. That's why I asked you to say it again.
Have you ever eaten a melted? Tell the truth. Have you ever eaten a melted M&M and thought it was good, as it is when it gets into your mouth and you get to break that shell?
Well, the answer is I probably have, but not purposefully, because when I pick out the M&Ms, and you probably do the same thing, Auntie. If the shells are still left in the bottom of the bag, I throw it away.
I throw it away.
Yeah.
I thought it's not. There's no use for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a M&M, a peanut M&M, and the peanut is showing.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody touched it, ate it, broke it. I don't. And that's what he represents. A peanut, a M&M.
Yeah.
You discard it. No value to it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because Alexis just playing the game, and that's the only reason why he's around. I don't even believe that he's attracted to Kyra. I'm just gonna go ahead on and keep it 100. I think he just wants to go to the end, and I don't know why he won't self-eliminate. Get the fuck off of there. He's wasting everybody's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ron. They're wasting, and David. 3 men who are wasting everybody's time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, when the ladies went out and they had their little spa date that Vernicia set up, you know, the bartender said, "Tell me about your man."
Oh, my Lord. Yeah.
Oh, he's dark and he's chocolate. Okay, so we're gonna do, you know, a little brandy with, you know, X, Y, and Z and wooty wooty woo. I thought that was very cute. Loved that.
I did too.
I also like the camaraderie between Kyra and Liz. When Liz said, you know what? I think I want me a little bit of Jason. Because at this point, Jason's David, he's a throwaway.
That's right.
She's already went out with Clarence. Clarence done already read him for filth, right? They got, you know, they did not, he was dishonorably discharged from the conversation. And they sat there and they talked, you know, the girl talk. I thought it was very interesting that Vernicia indicated that she had never been kissed by Joan.
Yeah.
Because Alexis said, I am the only one that hasn't been kissed.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I mean, I get a kiss here, I get a kiss there, I get a kiss here, but never a kiss here. What is that about, Bishop, from a male's perspective? Why?
I don't know. I can tell you I don't know. In terms of why Joel hasn't kissed Vernicia, I'm not sure. And it's not even about being misleading. I just don't know what that's about.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. She's attractive. She's pretty, and now I can see why maybe in the past couple of episodes he may not have kissed her because he's upset because he calls her clingy, but she's saying, "Hey, you didn't communicate." But before then, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why up to that point he hadn't kissed her.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
don't
what did
know.
you think about to get together with the women?
I thought that was fun. I thought it was fun, and I'm going to say this, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I as the bartender was building the drinks, I was wondering, I wonder what kind of drink people would put together and call it, the bishop drink. I was just
Oh, well, maybe
wondering.
we'll do that in the comments. Ladies, put together a bishop drink in the comments. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Let me think.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
Don't no, I don't even want to hear it.
Okay. I'll put
I
it in
don't
the
want to hear it.
comments like everybody else.
Say what?
I will put it in the comments like everybody else.
Oh my
So you
goodness.
can go back and read it. I
I
thought that
will.
was really nice, and I think that Liz, she is defaulting to Jason, but I
Jason.
don't think she likes Jason. I think it's a rebound from David. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I totally agree. I've agreed with everything you've said about that, about their get together. I enjoyed their camaraderie. Um, I enjoyed yeah, it was just their camaraderie, and they know that they're competing, but I like their camaraderie. I like their energy. Um, and I agree with you. I think Liz at this point is just what we used to call it, rebound.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to find herself
Mm-hmm.
on the rebound, or something to that effect, because at this point, David is not good for her. Yeah, David is
Mm-hmm.
not good for her, and Jason is just an option. So one is not good, and then another is an option.
So somebody said peach vodka, but let me tell you something, honey. I don't know what you mean by that, but Bishop is not a peach.
Oh Lord.
Ain't nothing peachy about Bishop. But thank you. Someone else said a Manhattan. I don't know what's in that. Um, Somebody said Bishop drinks after the comments regarding Clarence a Shirley Temple. I don't know what's in these drinks. Somebody said Bishop is a mineral water. Give you what you need. Somebody said a martini. Someone said a naked margarita.
Lord. Oh. And you see, I don't drink, so I don't know if these are likes or dislikes. I don't know.
I would have said that. It would start off with that. Yes. Sweet heavenly dove.
That's a drink?
No, that's the person's name. The drink is a
Oh,
bourbon. It would start off with a bourbon.
okay.
Somebody says straight cognac, a good smooth, dark, and rich.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
Why did I even say that?
Hmm.
You are reading those comments.
Okay. So anyway, so after that, who else went out?
I think after that was the last one that we saw because they were back at Tommy's house. Yeah,
So they
that
went
was
back
it.
to Tommy's house, and the girls sat around and they talked about the relationships and the dates. With
Yeah.
Tommy and his wife. I thought that this was interesting dialogue between the women, right?
Hmm.
Um, they basically focused a lot of attention on Alexis because Alexis indicated that, she, wanted religion, that was a priority to her, and that Ron basically um, told her he wasn't religious. It wasn't, important to him. And so, they told her, if this is a priority or a non-negotiable in your life, and I always talk about non-negotiables
Yes, you
on the
do.
channel, she, that every Sunday this is going to come up. I thought that was brilliant because he's true. Every time it's time for you to go to church on Sundays or Bible school on Wednesdays, this is going to be an issue that you all are not equally yoked.
Yeah, yeah,
But she, told Tommy and them, and she also repeated it to Ron, that he chose me, which, in my opinion, means you didn't choose him.
yeah.
You just feel like ain't nobody else gonna choose you. And basically, she said that about AJ. She hasn't pursued AJ. She's gone with him because she doesn't know and doesn't feel that AJ is going to choose her.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
so, but she sits there and she cries with Tommy and them. I said, "Girl, you so fake. You know this man ain't got no religion in him." I just thought it was fake. What did you think?
I did. I thought it was really just manufactured.
Yeah, I thought it was manufactured.
Yeah, yeah. I like Tommy and his wife's advice, and so he was authentic. And I thought at one point Tommy was counting his blessings on the show because I thought I heard his voice quiver like he was getting ready to cry. He was thinking he said
Yeah,
every single time we thank God for this house. And I thought, okay, all right.
yeah, because he said when they got the land and they had friends to come over and they, gathered together and blessed the land.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I purchased my home, I don't know about you, but when I purchased this particular home, I had it Christian from the top to the bottom, from the rooter to the tutor. Okay, I didn't think that the oil was ever going to wipe off the walls. Okay, but but my girlfriend and my one of my good girlfriends, she's like a sister to me, and my sister-in-law, they came over here, and I mean they blessed this every corner and crevice of this home.
Yeah.
And so, when things, when you get a man or a mate or anything, you want to make sure that you're equally yoked. And I think that she knew she wasn't equally yoked, but again, she wants to play this game. This
Yeah.
is, and I think that that's why she cried. Because I was like, you already know. She knows where he stands. I think that he's been very clear with all of them. He wants a woman who's going to pop out babies. He wants a
Yes.
woman who's going to stay at home and he's going to be the breadwinner and he's comes home from work, and thumps his chest and all of that kind of stuff. I just don't think that he's ever deceived her. What do you think, Bishop?
Just I concur. I concur totally 100% with your assessment. You get no argument from me.
Yeah, because
Absolutely none.
he didn't deceive her. I think that he has been one of the most honest players in this whole game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely been honest in who he is, whether you like it or not, whether his little rainbow mouth look like he's still sucking his thumb. But whether you like him or not, he's been absolutely honest about it. Now Liz goes on to tell Tommy and his wife about David and all of that kind of stuff. How David reacted with her boyfriend, and how she had told him to comment, told him what was going on, and with him doing the off camera
Yeah.
conversation with his friends, and Tommy and them let her know, basically that they thought that Clarence was right.
Yes. Oh, I didn't say he was wrong. And what he said.
And then Kyra, did Kyra talk? Vernicia said that she's glad that she's not in a threesome relationship. Honey, you don't know.
Did you see
You
me hold
don't,
my head back up?
you don't know that, Vernicia. Don't be so sure, boo.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
be too sure about your place with Joel. And I think that if I had to give her something, it would be that you're too familiar. You're too sure about your place.
mm,
So now, Bishop, at the end of this, Liz calls a date with David.
yes,
At the
yes,
same time, Alexis calls a date with Ron.
yes. Woo!
Alexis says that she wants to let Ron know once and for all how she feels, how she felt about how he handled her ex. And Ron is already suited and booted and ready for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, she begins to tell him that she thought that he was condescending, and a bit disrespectful to her friend, and how he indicated that he had religion oozing out of him and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
What did you think about that? You want to go
I
into detail about that?
no, I just that was when he brought up this whole divine masculinity piece. But I thought he was. You were right, nasty and condescending because she said, "Well, I'm just trying to offer you this." He said, "You can't offer me nothing."
He said, "What can you offer me? You can't offer me." But he laughed at her first, like, "Bitch, what the? You can't offer me nothing." Case
Yeah.
closed. Next case. And she said, "Wait a minute. What? 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 What did you say? I can't offer you anything." But she does brag about the fact that she led all these men to Jesus. Well, what happened to your Jesus husband? And Ron saying, "I'm not going to be another feather in Alexis Christian cap."
Right. Right. On the church pew.
Right. He's like, "I'm not going to be that." Did I
Yeah.
think that he was wrong for his delivery? Yes. But did I agree? Absolutely. He's not on this show to be recruited to Jesus. Now, if
Yeah.
that happened, and the Bible says no man can be drawn unless the Spirit draws him. And when she talked to Tommy and she talked to him, she sat there and said, "Well, he gives me credit for, him going into this direction, and, he gives me credit." Girl, sit down.
Yes.
You may have been a vessel that was used, okay? But no man is drawn unto Christ unless the Spirit draw him.
Yeah.
Nobody. And I hate when Christians take credit for that or try to take credit. I led 15 souls to Christ. You ain't do nothing. They already were drawn by the Spirit.
Yeah.
All you did was made yourself a human, tangible, touchable vessel of his love. At the end of the day, you are nothing more than a sign. And signs stay still and they planted in the ground.
Or a farmer, because maybe you planted the seed, somebody else watered, but we know he
Right.
himself gives the increase.
He gives the increase.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, you can't water and plant.
Yeah.
You one or the other. The Bible
So,
says some get some, right?
yeah. And so she's trying to take far too much credit. And I thought,
Far too much.
Alexa, this is a little dangerous territory if you're just trying to, come in and take credit for all of this. Is this what it's about for you? So are you trying to build another notch in your belt in terms of how many people you got to sit on the pew, or how many people come on, Alexis, you got to do better than that.
And then the Bible says that many are called and few are chosen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that why she using that chosen? Did she misinterpret the scriptures?
I
Because
think her aim,
chosen.
yeah, her aim is just wrong. I think a lot of her conversations are just self gratification and self edifying. It's look at me, look at what I did. I don't know the success or the lack thereof of her marriage with the pastor, but I think somehow she needs to build her resume with some kind of successes, because it's always, honey, I got this, and honey, I can do that. Or when I walk in the room, they look at me, or this is who I am. I think somehow something may have been broken. And so she's in a mode of rebuilding. I don't know. I'm just trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, but whatever it is, it's not quite authentic.
I think it's not. And the thing about it, whether or not you like what Ron said, whether you liked his delivery or not, Ron did not tell a lie.
He was true.
He does not value the woman. He should have stayed with Chrysanthemum, but he let the men talk him out of that relationship with Chrysanthemum. And that's really who he should have fought for. And he, like I said, he indicated, on the streets, that he wanted to get himself self-eliminate, and she kept calling him and wouldn't let him.
Wow.
Because at that time, that's all she had was Ron. That's what kept Alexis on the show.
Wow.
And so, he was doing, her a favor by continuing to stay on the show. And he indicated that production did not like him. And he said he wished that people had told him, what kind of edits you can get when production likes you and when they don't.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
And I don't think that production liked him, because we didn't like him from week one. He should have went home week one with Khalil, or whatever that guy name. He should have went home week one with him.
Yeah.
And the postman.
Right.
But he stayed around because, he started talking that yingity yang yang. But okay, so now Liz decides that she's going to go and meet with David. She's called David to a seat, to have a seat at the table. David gets there at the table. I think that David believed that he was being eliminated. And Liz invited him. She's a lady. And when she began to talk, David insisted that he talked first. He wanted to control the narrative. He wanted to control what happened. He wanted to buy out. Now, in an Instagram live, he indicated that Tommy had asked him the previous week. So you all know the previous week they eliminated the women. David indicated in his Instagram live that when Tommy went around the room and said, if you had to leave here today with someone, who would you leave with? He indicated in his Instagram live that he told Tommy, nobody.
Do you hear me flipping pages? He said nobody. He said no.
He said that when he was asked the question, he told him nobody.
On the show, he said Kyra.
Everybody said Kyra.
Yeah.
He said nobody. That he wasn't really feeling Liz. And he wanted to take it slow. And so when Liz got there, thinking this is the elimination day, he wanted to control the narrative. So she was insistent. No, let me talk. I'm a lady. Let me talk. I brought you here. No, I brought you here, but let me lead, Liz. Let me lead, Liz. Let me lead. So, of course, Liz is, pushing back, and he stands up. That's when we needed Clarence. Clarence needed to be in the mofo bushes.
Now, I agree. You get, because when he stood up I made a note. David, sit down. You don't stand up and exert that kind of power and authority. So now you're putting a power control on this woman. That is the last thing that you do. You're going to, one, you were wrong because she was talking. And then you stood up and made that's a power. That's what you do in negotiations, contract negotiations. You don't do that in relationships. David, sit down. And again, I said to myself, you're old enough to know better.
And here's the thing. She stood up to match his energy, but she couldn't match his strength. And that's the fear and the caution that I will give to a woman. If you're going to stand up and match his energy, you're not going to be able to match his strength. And so you need to know when you stand up, how to stand up. Liz stand up and got back up in his face to match his energy. When Liz, if she was going to stand 10 toes to the ground, she should have backed up. To let him know. Now, I agree with her getting up because you're not going to exert the dominance over me. But I would have stepped back.
You would have done what, Auntie?
I would have stepped back. You cannot get up in a man's face like that unless you're going to match his strength. And you can't match his strength.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though she was right in that, she should have created some safe space for her.
For her.
Or the bottle should have been busted, or the glass, or the knife removed. You just, all of that stuff should have been in place before she stood up. But as a woman, if you ever going to do that, create space. When he went in to grab her, to kiss her, again, dominance, manipulating, silencing me, controlling me. She kept saying, "You're a man, right? You're a man, right? You respect women. Women go first." Liz, none of that's going to, he's not in the kid space. And what I see it as is two boxers in the ring. They're doing a press conference. They're getting ready to do a HBO fight. They're sitting at opposite sides of the table. There's somebody in the center and they just bumping their gums. But you let one of those boxers stand up. It's on and popping. Because now we're no longer communicating. We about to fight. We're getting ready to go down. It will change the whole framework of the press conference. Everybody, even in their camps, are going to get up because somebody exerted dominance or is trying to. What did you think about that, Bishop? Give it to the women from a male's perspective.
No, I'm with you there. I'm completely with you. David was completely wrong. And what is interesting, Auntie, is that it was that whole notion of knowing that you're wasting your time. Liz, you're wasting your time with this fool.
But do you believe that she was the one that was sent by the women to tell him that he was going to be eliminated? Do you think that he did all of that because he knew he was going to be eliminated? Bishop, help me, Bishop, help me, please.
Yeah, I think at that point, David knew that he had betrayed Liz. No one else was really interested in him. So here we go. You're going off the show. And this would be retribution for her to be the one to tell you you're leaving. So they may have said, here's your chance for vengeance. Just go and tell him goodbye. So they may have sent her. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know if she was the best candidate.
I agree.
I don't know if she was the best candidate.
I agree.
Because,
But she wanted to have a conversation with him or follow up on a conversation with him because of the way he walked out on Clarence.
yeah.
So they use that opportunity for Liz to do that. But I agree. She was not the best. And I think that, excuse me, production should have reconsidered that before they put that girl in that situation.
Because that was an emotionally harmful space for her. And in a real life situation off camera, a physically harmful space.
Absolutely. And that's why I said you may match their energy, but you're not gonna match their strength. And when a man, it ain't nothing like a man that go up on that. There's nothing like the strength that, right? And if you survive it, or you see the little sparkles and everything, sparkles in my eyes, right? And if he is gracious enough, and I'm just being honest, ladies, hear me. If he is gracious enough to just hit you that first time, if he doesn't hit you with a 2 or 3 piece, because somebody like that is when you get up to match his energy like that, some men ain't gonna be gracious to you. They're gonna hurt you. And a woman should always see that. Don't assume that every man is going to let you just get up in their face, because some men are going to justify it and say, well, she's acting like a man, so I treated her like a man. You understand what I'm saying, Bishop?
I do. Yes, ma'am, I do.
Use wisdom before you try to match a man's energy, and make sure you got something in your hand that's cuttable on the first swing.
Yeah. Auntie, I totally get that. And I think really, in a nutshell, that's what I was saying earlier. There's this saying, don't argue with a fool, because somebody passing by might not be able to tell the difference. They don't know who's the fool. So I dismissed David in that I knew he was wrong for Liz. He just wasn't good for her. He betrayed her at that point. I think my disappointment with Clarence was that in that space, I was probably more harsh on him, because I may have had a higher expectation for him to be controlling of the environment. Not that I thought he was more wrong.
Okay.
But I recognize that David is a complete butt. David is a complete fool. So Clarence, in that moment, when you realize you're dealing with the fool, I'm giving you credit and having hope that you can control the environment a little more, as opposed to controlling it with your testosterone. Because in that case, Clarence, like, you know what? If I have to control it with my testosterone, I'm good enough to do that. But again, I would say to a brother, don't do it just because you can. We don't want you going to jail. We don't want you having to get up and go to legal systems just because you handled a situation that you could. So I think I just given Clarence a little more credit, and I
understand. Thank you for cleaning it up, because I was so confused.
Yeah. It was just that David is a butt. You know he's a fool. You already know he's a fool. Don't match a fool's energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bishop.
And in this case, he validated what I felt about him. Yeah. That he should have just been off the show. It took me to a space of knowing the history of some of the women in my life who have been in abusive situations, and that was not a feel-good moment for me when he stood up in her face. It was just not a feel-good moment at all. So that's why when you say you need a Clarence, or you could need a Clarence or Leroy or any brother at that point to take him down, because he was completely wrong for that. And I think a lot of times people put themselves in a position to dominate folk. And Liz responded And she may have responded in a moment when it wasn't the most rational thing to do. Like you said, Liz, you stood up, but it wasn't the most rational thing for you to do because you stood up in harm's way. You didn't step back. You didn't create a safe space for yourself. So do I think production and the ladies could have sent somebody else? Yeah, because if it's about the message, then send the message. It wasn't about the messenger. It was about the message. David, your time should be over. But of course, then, Auntie, as you know, we get a cliffhanger.
And then the thing about it, yep, we got a cliffhanger. Because see, here's the thing about it is when David kept saying, I want to lead, and she kept insisting that, she, lead. I was thinking to myself, it doesn't make a difference to me how he would want it to spend this. Go ahead, say what you got to say, David.
No. Right. Go ahead.
Easy to me to just let him talk. I don't have to be on production's schedule, or I'm just saying, I'm not blaming this on production, but I don't have to stick with the script. I can improvise. Yeah. Go ahead, David. You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you. Go ahead and say what you have to say. But she too wanted to be right. She too wanted to be in control. And yet she called a meeting, and very well, he should have respected that. But if he doesn't, you can always default and make another choice. That's all I'm saying, Bishop. She could have made another decision and said, you know what, I ain't going to argue with this man. Go ahead, David. Say, what is it? Because it would have made a difference. He was getting eliminated anyway. Or at least we assume.
Right.
But now I don't have my energy drained from me. I'm not up in your face. You're trying to kiss me. You grabbing my hands. You got your hands on me. Now I feel extremely threatened. And I've been in that situation before, right? So if I'm going to get up and match his energy, right, I'm coming up swinging with something that's broken, or I'm coming up a different way, because once you've been through it before, you determine in your heart and in your mind, I ain't never gonna be in this situation again. And so now I'm gonna get you before you get me. Yeah. And I hate, to see a woman in that situation. I think she put herself in a very dangerous situation. And I think hindsight being 2020, that she's looking at that and saying, I could have handled that a different way. It would have taken nothing from her, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To say, you know what? Go ahead, David. What? What do you think, Bishop? You think I'm wrong?
No, ma'am, not at all. You're saying that, and I'm thinking, how many times have we seen that lesson played out over the past few years? As we see little bishops or younger bishops or bishops' brothers and nephews getting in cars and driving. And one of the things we've said is get home safe. Before you try to prove that you're right, be safe.
Yeah.
And the same thing with women. Before you try to prove that you're right, be safe before you be right.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that women have to be weak, because diffusing something is strength. Yes. It takes a lot of strength to bring your energy down and say, you know what? Go ahead. It takes a lot of strength to do that. And it's and ladies, before y'all attack me, vice versa. It would have taken nothing for him. It wouldn't have been, seen as him being weak for him to say, you know what, Liz? Okay, go ahead. Yeah. So it's very clear that there has never been effective communication between the two of them. Yeah. Never. And it just played out. It played out.
So Auntie, a few episodes ago, when they were sitting out there singing church songs, they should have sung the song instead of saying, "Do not pass me by." They should have said, please pass me by." Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
just
think that they need to vet these people more, Bishop. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that they need to vet these men better.
yeah.
I don't think that they really made good decisions this season with the men.
You're right.
Who do you believe is going home? What's your prediction? Because we got a to be continued.
Yes. Let's see. So I'm just only gonna put one name down. There are two, but I'm gonna put the one, and this is a big hope.
I believe it's going to be a double elimination,
Okay.
and I think it's going to be David and Ron.
Okay.
Although it should be AJ, I think it's going to be the greater of the two evils.
Ah, okay.
But I believe it's going to be a double elimination.
I can stomach Ron a little more than I can at this point, David, because Ron has just been revealing his truth.
True.
He's just been revealing his truth. I haven't seen him do anything as egregious as David yet. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I said, I really truly believe that he has been honest, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
He's been honest. Very.
Wow.
This was very interesting. I think that this was. I think that it was hard to look at the last show.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bishop?
It was and the reason yeah, I gave it an F, but I think I'm so big on no, but you said something earlier, Auntie. I'm big on, and it may be because I've worked very long at this, very hard at this, diffusing situations,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been in enough situations over the course of my life where I handled some things wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
life taught me you can handle it better.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in a few situations where they were just physical brawls, where I just stood my ground. It's like, okay, here we go. This is the clash of the testosterone. Here we go. Then
You didn't seem like that kind of person, Bishop.
one day, so I'm looking at my hands, and I got a few scars on my hands. And one day when we're off camera and in person, I'll show you. But yeah, and thank God my mother is not here, because my mother she used to tell people, oh yeah, he used to love to fight.
Me too.
So I asked my mother to please stop telling people that. But I did. I was a no nonsense. You're not going to get up in my face. I don't have a whole lot of tolerance. I knew at that point. So I'm 6'4". My daddy's folk, we're all just tall. So I wasn't going to take a whole lot. But then I made some professional and
Mm-hmm.
spiritual moves, and I realized
Same here.
yeah, and I realized I have to do something. I have to come a different way. And I worked a long time at conflict resolution,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where I became sought after to do conflict resolution workshops and that sort of thing. But it came from a very personal space for me, where I had to learn to resolve my own conflicts, because I would flick off in a minute. You just, whoa, okay. So if I had, in a lot of times when I'd been to Clarence, you come in here, oh, we going for it. It's no holds bars. There was nothing bishopy about Bishop at that time. We going for it. As soon as you open your mouth, No, you look at me wrong, we're going. We're just going for it. But with sessions of learning, sessions of hearing, sessions of counseling, I got to the place where I realized you're more in control of situations than you realize.
Wow.
So you have to use your communication skills. You have to use the power of your communication skills. So I think when I see that flaw, all of that triggered me all over again. So that conversation you heard with me talking about Clarence, that was me. That was me deconstructing and reconstructing Bishop all over again.
Okay. Okay.
That you know better. You know better. You've got to be in charge of that situation. So for those of you, so whoever it was who gave me a Shirley Temple after the conversation about Clarence, that was Bishop being transparent about his journey, about having to deconstruct who he once was and then reconstruct who he hopes he now is. That situations like that, somebody has to take control. Yeah.
Bishop, I totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for letting me get that out, Auntie. I appreciate that.
Somebody has to. I just recently went through a situation like that where I was like, okay, which route do I take?
Because isn't it easy? You don't forget, right? Yeah.
And you have to think about it very quickly. And not only think about it very quickly, but move very quickly.
Yeah.
To whatever that decision is.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. So we both think that David is going to go home, and I believe it's going to be a double elimination. I think that Ron is going to take his A up out of there too. If they do a triple one, it's going to be AJ.
Yeah, let's just move to elimination.
And Alexis Guy, if it's a female, I think she's going to leave. I think she's going to roll up out of there.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so thank you so much, Bishop. Thank you so much to everybody who is here. Any closing remarks? I think that what you said is really good to close on.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
So Terry Butler said, I think Bishop is fine. He should be on a show with me.
With who? Thank you, Terry. I think.
Only thing about it, she'll have an icon, so she ain't got no show. Show your face next time, Terry Butler girl. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much to everybody who has been here. I don't know if there has been any super chats. If it was, I'm sorry, I missed them. But I just thank all of you all for being here. Thank you so much to my moderators who always keep the room nice and safe. If you would like to hear more from Bishop, you can follow him on YouTube at Let's Talk to Cutler. Okay, he is the author of many books, and his page is very inspirational, right? He goes live every Tuesday and every Thursday, and it is words that you can apply to your life. And they're very applicable, and they're easy to digest. Okay, he just ain't ramming stuff down your throat. So when you get an opportunity, seriously, go out there and visit him at Let's Talk to Cutler on YouTube. Thank you all again so much, and you all have a great rest of your holiday. Yes. And stay away from them cicadas.
Stay away.
Love you, Bishop.
Love you too. Thank you all.
All right.